Think your side hustle has to wait until after the RD exam? I'm Emma Morris, dietetic intern at DSC and a virtual assistant. Today, I will be stepping behind Krista's mic to chat about virtual assisting for nutrition students and how to build practice ready skill sets on your own terms. Not a student, this episode is still for you. I'm here to talk through it all while sharing my experience and insights. Whether you're looking for virtual work, career transitions, or support in your practice. Hey there, and welcome to a new episode of the Dietitian Success Podcast, the business and marketing podcast for registered dietitians. If you're new to Dietitian Success Center, head to our website to join the free community. Links can be found in the show notes. For students listening, this is a great way to build connections. I'm Emma Morris, your host today, and I'm on the path to becoming a registered dietitian, currently in my dietetic internship while completing a Master's of Health Science in Nutrition Communication at Toronto Metropolitan University. I also have a Bachelor's of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics from Western University. For the past 7 years, I've combined my love for storytelling and science, working as a social media manager and virtual assistant for food brands, dietitians, and nonprofits. I'm passionate about equity, innovation, and creating resources that make nutrition clear and approachable. I also love bringing ideas to life through photography, graphic design, and building visuals that spark connection. Throughout my studies, I've been a virtual assistant or VA supporting professionals or businesses remotely. In the nutrition space, this can mean helping with things like content creation, client resources, admin tasks, social media, or marketing. Basically, anything that helps lighten the load so dietitians, health pros, or food brands can focus on their clients. I'm excited to dive into the world of virtual assisting as a side hustle for nutrition students. We'll explore why entrepreneurial projects like these are incredible for accelerating your skills and building real-world experience while you're still in school. Plus, making extra money as a student. In this episode, I'm going to uncover everything you need to know about how to kickstart your side hustle as a virtual assistant in the nutrition and dietetics world. Or, if you're an RD, how to benefit from bringing on a student VA. Here's what we'll dig into and why it matters. First, why VAing is a smart move for nutrition students, so you can build real-world skills, make flexible income during school, and feel more prepared for your internship and job applications. Second, student-friendly VA ideas tailored to nutrition and dietetics, so you can start with tasks that align with your strengths. Think meal planning templates, social media for RDs, resource creation, and more. Professional essentials to get you started without getting overwhelmed. I'll walk you through defining your scope, drafting contracts, managing invoices, so you protect your time and your reputation. I'll also chat a little bit about how to find and pitch RDs who need help, so you're not just waiting for work to come to you. I'll show you how to confidently reach out and land clients. I'll also chat about common pitfalls and smart time management strategies, so your side hustle stays a side hustle and stays sustainable. No burnout here, while you balance school, placements, and life. And for the RDs listening, a bonus segment on how hiring or mentoring a student VA can lighten your workload and help you build the next generation of nutrition pros. Plus, I'll add in my experience, so you won't make the same mistakes I have. So, let's get into it. When I was an undergrad, I remember feeling this mix of excitement and uncertainty about what I wanted to do with my newfound nutrition skills. I knew I wanted to apply them within school, and I also wanted to make some money on the side without getting a traditional job. But honestly, I didn't really feel 100% ready. I also wasn't sure if I had enough experience or knew how to take on real projects. But what I realized over time, and what I want to share with you, is that waiting until you're totally ready to have an RD behind your name isn't really as necessary as we think it is. Sometimes the best way to learn is by jumping in and trying new things, even if it feels a little scary or uncertain. Throughout my undergraduate and master's journey, I've started doing virtual assisting work and project based gigs for food brands, registered dietitians, and nonprofits. These projects covered so many different areas of nutrition and communication, and each one pushed me to develop new skills I didn't even know I needed. I learned how to manage my time and projects. I figured out how to be my own boss, which meant setting boundaries and deadlines and really owning my work. I got comfortable using all kinds of software and digital tools that I hadn't even heard before. And maybe most importantly, I got to explore different career paths, sometimes applying clinical knowledge in creative ways and stepping outside of my comfort zone. The best part, I was earning money in a way that was flexible enough to fit around my class schedule and life as a student. VA rates I see typically range from around 25 to 45 Canadian, that's where I am, per hour, depending on the type of work and the hours involved. Work can be done on a monthly retainer or a project basis. And that kind of flexibility meant I can build my skills and portfolio without feeling overwhelmed or burnt out. Looking back, I can say that being open to these opportunities, even before I felt ready, laid the foundation for everything I'm doing now. If you're a student listening, I encourage you to think about ways you can put your skills out there, even if you don't feel 100% ready yet. You might surprise yourself with what you're capable of. Before jumping into what VA looks like, I want to explain the benefits. I didn't know this at the time, but doing VA work was actually preparing myself to fill common gaps in traditional dietetic training. Our degrees set us up for various areas of work, but many dietitians lack business skills and know-how, and research within the field actually shows this. A 2024 qualitative study out of Australia found that participants intentionally pursued private practice, yet felt underprepared in business skills, and group-based mentoring they received through this unique program effectively supplied practical startup guidance. But we know that not all programs provide this robust mentorship opportunities. We have to make them ourselves. And the earlier you begin growing a professional network, the more opportunities may come from it. We often think, I have to wait until I'm in practicum, or I have an RD beside my name. But VA can provide you with the opportunities and security to address both these gaps, from building skills to mentorship. A huge benefit of doing VA work as a student or a career shifter is that VA opportunities provide this experiential learning, which systematic literature reviews show strengthen critical thinking, communication, and adaptability, essential skills dietitians need in today's workforce. You can almost think of VA work like mini practice rotations, where you practice evidence-based knowledge translation, client communication, and digital literacy. Research shows these are big flag skills needed in the future of the healthcare workforce. Taking on a VA work early helped me build confidence in proving I could deliver real value. Each project pushed me to trust my skills, apply my learning from courses that I even learned that week in a new way, and gave me the courage to tackle new challenges throughout my career journey. It's the ability to be resourceful and adaptable in this creative job opportunity that I feel set me up for success as I enter the profession. This is the main reason I want to chat about VAing today on the podcast. It's been so beneficial for me, and I want other students to try it out and to have the same learning opportunities early on in their career. So now that I've hopefully convinced you of the value of VAing, let's jump in to what it can look like. I have 4 ideas for you. I want to emphasize here that if there's a prior skill that you have, if you're really creative, you love taking photos, you're super organized, or you're an operational wizard, picking a VA opportunity that highlights these skills now will help you build a professional resume that showcases this later and support in landing a job after school in this area of the field. A big area where I've gained a lot of experience is in social media content creation and support. For me, this meant everything from designing posts, videos, to research translation, myth busting, and really harnessing those plain language researching skills. That's easy for an audience to understand. It's a lot harder than you might think. Often this looks like digging into the current trends or questions in the RD or nutrition business space and turning that into evidence-based, engaging content. What I love about this work is that it's not just a chance to flex my research and communication skills that I've built over time, but it also gives me the behind the scenes look at what it really takes to run a business or a private practice. Getting the inside perspective has been invaluable for understanding how RDs connect with clients and grow their brands. But if this isn't your jam, I want to stress how VAing is really a choose your own adventure type work. Other opportunities can look like assisting in a private practice with operations, like answering client emails, scheduling appointments, streamlining intake forms, and setting up systems in an RD's business. Support can also look like development for blogs, social media, and video creation. This can look like food styling, nutrition analysis, and really building that cultural competence. Another way VAing can look like is by ghostwriting. This means learning the voice of the professional that you work with and supporting with writing blogs, articles, and any copy that they might need support with. Again, this is a fantastic way to build strong communication skills and gain lots of knowledge in particular areas and experience implementing feedback, which is a key skill for internships and in the workforce. Depending on who you're working with, you may even get credited as a writer on the piece, which can help build a professional writing portfolio. Whether you're streamlining a clinic's inbox, styling oat banana muffins for a blog, myth busting on TikTok, or polishing a practitioner's newsletter, every task prepares you for becoming a dietitian. Think of VAing as your micro rotations, where you're building competencies as well as professional connections. Now that you have an idea of the kind of work you will be doing under the wide umbrellas of VA possibilities, how do you find that work and how does it really all come together? This is the art of the pitch and portfolio. Pitching your skills to RDs within areas you might want to work is a great starting point. I began by connecting with a few RDs I admired on social media and sending them simple messages offering my support with small tasks like content research or social media help. I didn't have a fancy portfolio at the time, but I focused on showing that enthusiasm, reliability, and willingness to learn. Those first few projects led to more opportunities and helped me build a solid foundation to grow from. But before you pitch, you want to find out who you really want to pitch to. Start on Google and search for RDs in your area or practices that you admire. Or head to Instagram and have a look for practice areas that you're interested. Facebook groups are another great way. Many RD VA groups exist. Join a few with active members in your area and compile a list of leads that you may want to reach out to. LinkedIn is another great way, but it requires more upfront work in gathering content and searching for businesses. Gather a list of names that you would feel comfortable sending a message to. I recommend starting with about 5 and just seeing how it goes. Yes, it's going to be a little nerve-wracking, and you'll probably get some no's in the process, but this is so normal. But if you keep your conversations honest, warm, professional, and inviting, you truly never know what this connection could be and how it could support you in your future in a non-VAing capacity. So now that you have a list and have gotten over the potential fear of sending that first message, what do you even say? This is the fun part of learning to pitch. An emphasis here on learning, because it's going to take some trial and error to figure out what works well for you and how it sounds authentic in your voice. A pitch can include a warm introduction, something you appreciate about that RD's practice, a few lines about yourself, small proof of your work and credibility. And if you're just getting started, this can be a class project or a special skill that you have. Something you've noticed from your research, but most importantly, keeping it positive, and a proposed solution of what you thought of. Ending off with a simple call to action suggesting a time to meet or contact information is a great way to end it off. All right, so we've done all this and we found an RD who's excited to work with us. Before you dive into Canva or your inbox, hit pause and lock down these 3 professional skills to get you started: scope of work, a written contract, and a clean invoicing system. These sound intimidating, but I promise they're just good communication on paper, or more likely a PDF. So, first is your scope of work, aka a who does what by wide map. Open a OneDoc page or a bullet point of these 5 things you're going to want to keep in mind. First is the deliverables. This is the work that you'll be doing. Examples like you're going to do 4 Canva carousels, a 60-minute webinar summary, a client intake form revamp. You're going to write this here. Next, you're going to jump into the timeline and the milestones. These are things like when you're going to start, when you expect drafts to be done, the time between those, and any times that you know about a final handoff. Include some information about the revisions or the way that you want to work. So, how many rounds of revisions for a creative piece, and how fast you expect these will be turned around to the client. The communication channel. Do they use tools like Slack or Asana? Are they just doing it through email? What does that RD use? What are their boundaries for the communication you have? Will you or will you not give them your personal phone number? These are things that you could consider. And finally, exclusions, tasks that you're not taking part in. You may not know all of these, but take a stab at some of them and it'll show initiative, and the RD will let you know what they don't want you to be involved in. Contracts are something that the RD will likely have in place within their business if they already have contractors, but showing that you've taken some initiative will also help. Some things to think about for yourself, or you could research, are things like parties and roles. So, what is your role within the business? What your compensation might look like. This can include an hourly, a packaged rate, a payment schedule. This could include monthly or bi-weekly paychecks, depending on your scope of work and the type of thing that you're doing. You're going to also include in your contract your scope reference. So this is the document we created prior with all the information about the ways of working. Something about intellectual property and portfolio rights. This is important if you're doing creative work. So who owns the finished product? Whether you can show it in your own portfolio later, things to think about here. If they want to include some type of watermark on this document. Confidentiality, any compliant needs if you're doing things related to patients, termination and notice. So a 14 days heads up for payment or completed work. So I know this sounds like a lot, but these are things that I didn't originally think about when I was getting started. And so I wanted to give all this information to you. It can be simple. Digitally sign this document using HelloSign or Adobe. It really takes 4 clicks and you'll look like a pro. Remember that this protects them as much as it protects you. RDs really appreciate those students who take this seriously. It adds confidence in your ability to deliver the work. Now that you have a contract and a scope of work, how about billing? Creating a branded invoice in Canva, or if a timesheet is requested, creating one in Google Sheets. Just having a template ready, you can Google different examples of how to set up this template and get a little bit of branding going if that's something of interest to you. And how you're going to accept payments via e-transfer, any other fees that might be associated with it, And again, this is really just things to think about to get you started and by no means any legal advice. Processing an invoice in reality should only take you about 3 minutes once you've built that template, and this is a task you can add to your list once per month. Okay, so we've gone through a little bit about how to set up a contract, how to find an RD, what are the benefits of VAing, but it's not all rainbow and sunshine. So, what are those common mistakes and time management strategies to determine if VAing is really for you? For me, VA work felt like that perfect opportunity to take initiative and grow skills at my own pace. I love the freedom to explore different projects and figure things out as I went. But I also had to learn how to manage independence, making sure that I stayed organized and reach out to support when I needed it. If you're someone who enjoys independent work, is proactive about learning new tools, and likes the idea of building your own mini business, VAing can be great for you. It gives you flexibility, creative freedom, and the chance to work closely with professionals that you are inspired by. But VAing isn't the perfect fit for everyone. If you know you thrive on structure, constant feedback, or that in person connection, the remote and self directed nature of VA work might feel really challenging, and that's okay. The key here is to know yourself and, and be honest about what kind of work and work environment helps you do your best. Now let's talk about some common mistakes. These are ones that I've seen and also have made myself. Overcommitting. This is a huge one. It's easy to say yes to too many projects, especially when you're really excited about building experience. But this can lead to burnout fast. Not clarifying scope early. Sometimes you and the RD you're working with may have different ideas about what your work can include. That's why having a clear scope and contracts are so important. Do not skip this step. Understanding time. Tasks almost always take longer when you're learning something new. Build in that buffer for your edits, any tech issues if you're learning, and those learning curves if you're researching something new. Not tracking hours or tasks. Even if you're on a packaged rate, tracking what you're doing helps you advocate for yourself and reflect on how you can improve. So, a few time management strategies that have saved me. Blocking time in your calendar. Treat this VA work like a class or a shift, any other project you'd be doing. Block off that time. Batch task similar tasks together. For example, if you're writing captions for a client at once instead of switching between tasks. So you're going to do all those captions in one time and all the graphics in one time. That way, you're doing that similar task and you're not switching between the two. Pick one communication channel. Keeping everything in one place saves so much time hunting for messages or revisions as you're going. Schedule those check-ins. Even if it's 10 minutes or just a monthly meeting, having that check-in that's a conversation instead of through an email thread or through a message really helps keep things aligned and avoids any of those last minute rushes or miscommunications. All right, so my students, this is kind of all the tips that I have for you today, but I want to shift gears into the RD segment of today's episode. But to my students, this will also be helpful for you. So let's shift gears as we promised to talk to the RDs listening today. So, why might you want to hire or mentor a student VA? A lot of dietitians I've worked with say that this helps them focus more on client care or high level business strategy by taking those routine or time consuming tasks off their plate. But beyond that, RDs see it as a way to give back, to mentor the next generation of dietitians, offering that real world learning and creating a more supportive professional community. If you're an RD thinking about hiring a student VA, let's break down what really helps make a partnership successful for both of you. The first, and this is a huge one, those clear expectations. Before you start working together, take the time to clearly outline for yourself what exactly you want done. Are you looking for social media support, inbox management, recipe development? The more specific you can be for the student, the better. How often you want to be updated? Do you prefer that weekly check-in, a shared task board that you can glance at any time and see what's going on? Setting this up front helps to avoid that communication confusion and keep projects on tasks. What tools do you want to use? Whether it's Google Drive, Asana, Canva, Slack, agree where the things that you're working on will live so both of you can stay organized. Feedback. This is the second one, and this is so important. Remember that VA work is often a student's first experience supporting a real business. Constructive feedback helps them learn and grow. Offer guidance on tone, formatting, or accuracy when reviewing work. Be kind. Think of feedback as part of the mentorship process. Check in regularly. Even if it's a quick, this looks great, or tweak this part, this really helps to build confidence and trust in the student. And finally, flexibility. Students are balancing school, placements, maybe other part-time jobs, so a bit of flexibility goes a long way and is extremely appreciated. Be clear about these deadlines where possible and offer those reasonable turnaround times. Understand that exam season or practicum might affect their hours and try to build that into your planning where possible. View the partnership as a two-way street. Sometimes students can bring fresh perspective or ideas for your business or tools that you might have never thought of. And for students, think of working for an RD, remembering building those technical skills or writing, like that's all important. But really, what this RD will appreciate most is three things: initiative, bringing ideas to the table, or supporting ways to improve their process; communication, keeping them in the loop if you're unsure about something or need an extension; and finally, professionalism, meeting deadlines, respecting confidentiality, and treating their business like you would your own. When both sides bring these values to the table, VA partnerships can be incredibly rewarding and often open doors for future jobs, references, or collaborations. So, to finish off today's podcast, whether you're a student considering VA work or an RD looking for ways to support your business, I hope this episode really gave you that roadmap for how VA partnerships can work and why they're so valuable on both sides. Personally, taking a VA role not only boosted my confidence and skills, but also helps me build meaningful professional connections, all while giving me the flexibility to balance life and school. If you're interested in learning more, head to the show notes for the resources that I mentioned. Thank you to Krista for allowing me to take over today's episode, and the entire DSC team, Olivia and Maria, for your ongoing support throughout my placement. If you'd like to connect with me, I'm Emma's Guide on all platforms and happy to chat with students or other RDs over on LinkedIn. You can find me there under Emma Morris. Thank you for listening, and to my students out there, happy VAing!